Well, guys, we're here to review Thor Ragnarok. Well, if we can handle it, holy crap.
All right, man. I guess we'll start with a couple minutes of no spoilers, just to...
Sure, why not? If you haven't seen Thor by now, you shouldn't be watching this video. You should be out at the movie theater.
Right.
Forking over cash to Disney.
Yes, multiple times.
Yes.
Because this was... we talked. You want to jump straight into where it ranks, or you want to ease into that later on?
All right, we can do that right now.
It's second best Marvel movie to date, in my opinion.
Behind what?
Behind Winter Soldier.
Behind Winter Soldier, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In my opinion, that's where it falls.
Oddly enough, I will, even though it's a Hulk movie, I'll rank it third.
Okay.
Third best Marvel movie of all time.
Yeah, but you've got, I think, a pretty good explanation for why.
I do. My number one Marvel movie is Avengers, the very first one, because nothing will top the feeling from watching Avengers.
Right.
Growing up,
I can understand.
spending 30 years watching Marvel stuff and then seeing all your heroes together for the first time on screen. No matter how great the Avengers movies get from here going, you're not going to recapture that first feeling.
Right.
Like I said, I can't judge whether or not Avengers is a good movie or a bad movie because I can't be objective when talking about that movie. I'm a 12-year-old kid watching that movie.
Just goob out and
Yeah,
like,
like,
oh my gosh,
that's so
this is
awesome.
Avengers.
So that's on a different level.
Yeah.
Right. But then I put Winter Soldier as far as good movies, and then Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd put a Thor movie
Yeah.
in my top 5, but there you go.
Yeah, well, and it was incredibly well done. Taika Waititi did an amazing job. In my opinion, again, no, we won't get into any spoilers yet, but in my opinion, nobody fell down on their job here.
Right.
Every actor stepped up to the plate. They did a great job.
Yeah.
The direction was awesome. The visuals were amazing. This was a Kirby comic brought to life.
Yes.
It was so awesome visually. So, man, this movie cannot get high enough praise. It deserves is it still at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know,
so
but it deserves it.
It definitely deserves that.
Here's the thing. Kudos to Marvel for taking chances. Everyone talks about how formulaic the Marvel movies tend to be. And I mean, yeah, for some part, there's an argument for that. But for the most part, they go out of their limb. They take, the different genres, different styles of movies. And here they took a chance. They're telling a Thor Ragnarok tale, which is a dark tale.
Right.
And this movie is pretty dark.
It does have, definitely dark elements to it.
And then they take a comedic director like Taika Waititi, a brilliant comedic director like Taika Waititi, and then they give this material to him, and he turns out an out-and-out comedy with the darkest material for Thor there can get, right?
Yeah.
Ragnarok, the end of everything, and it works. It works. It's got an emotional heft to it, but it's got the laughs. I mean, and I think it
seamlessly travels between the two.
It does.
Like, emotional, dramatic moments to comedic moments and back in just a couple of moments, just a couple of movements, and boom, you make that transition. You're like, wow.
Yes.
Holy cow, how does this work? But it does.
This movie had great callbacks to Age of Ultron, to Last Thor, to a bunch of stuff. I mean, it was...
To Avengers.
Great. I mean, oh man, this is so great. Everybody gets a chance to shine in this movie, and there's a ton. I was going through the cast. I mean, the main characters in this, or the not main characters, but all the characters.
The characters who give more than a glance at, because there are like you said, tons of characters. There's probably good 10, what do we got? 10 that have relatively significant roles,
right?
And they all do a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, but most people will agree that the Hulk pretty much steals a movie that he's in, right? When he's in the Avengers movie, he stole the Avengers movie. Everyone loves the Hulk, and this is distinctive. I was worried about that being, is it going to be Planet Hulk with Thor tagging along? But this is a Thor movie.
Yeah.
It's a Thor movie.
Really
it is
well
about
balanced.
Thor. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was balanced with, all of the supporting characters including the Hulk and Bruce Banner, get good screen time. They get some great, bits, good laughs and whatnot.
Valkyrie was great in it.
But you never lose Thor. He doesn't get buried in his own movie.
This is his movie, and you could tell. Like I said, introducing a Valkyrie and a Grandmaster and all these characters that shine. Valkyrie is a standout. She's actually, I didn't know, the only thing I knew Tessa Thompson from was Creed, which she was great in that. but I didn't really know her from anything else.
No, I'm not aware.
And when I was like, she totally, obviously, it does not look like the classic Valkyrie character from the comics.
Yeah.
But she works. I mean, she does a really great job. I mean,
yeah,
she was one of the best characters in this. So, and her story, backstory, and the whole bit gets kind of fleshed out.
Yeah, exactly why she's where she is and why she's there. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
I like how they play with the Asgardian mythos and stuff. And when we get into the spoiler part, we'll delve a lot deeper into that. But
we haven't seen Loki since Thor: Dark World. And he gets a payout. I mean, he gets some great moments.
Great stuff. Yeah, great moments.
You remember why you like Loki? Why you like Loki so much from this movie? Just overall, I think I can't gush about this movie enough.
Definitely go see this movie.
Definitely go see it. I would give it a ranking here. Then we'll start talking about spoilers because I mean, other than that, we can sit here and gush about it all night. It's a great movie, and go see this movie and. From the tracking numbers, you are going to go see this movie.
Yeah.
So go see it multiple times because I want to see it multiple times. Right now, back of my brain is the one I can go back and see it again this weekend. But
that's the thing.
But what'd you rank it? I'll give you.
Here's the thing: is I gave you my kind of my breakdown of my standing and stuff like that. But I think this is one of. And I understand your Avengers thing where you're all like, you can't judge this accurate, leaving that aside and looking at it. That's on a different level. In my opinion, this is one of 3 Marvel movies that were a perfect score.
Yeah.
I think Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and this movie are all 5s. 5 out of 5. These are amazing movies.
This is your perfect score movie.
Yeah, this is a perfect score movie, and they just. I ranked him there probably. I think I put Winter Soldier above this just barely because of how faithful it is to the material. Whereas this movie plays very well, but there's not really where you can look in the comics and go, look, Thor's funny. Thor's a comedian, or how that plays out. So. In that sense, I only put Winter Soldier above this movie because of how faithful it is to the material, the source material.
I put Winter Soldier above it because it is a rock solid movie. It is a solid movie that you could take out the superpowers out of that movie, and it is a solid movie, right?
Yeah, you could not do that in this.
You could not do that in this. No, obviously not. But I had more fun with this movie than any other Marvel movie.
Yeah,
even more than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Both volumes.
Both volumes. Yeah. This is. I mean, no offense to Guardians of the Galaxy or James Gunn; those are awesome movies. But this movie is, as far as the comedy goes and everything else, just amazing. I would rank it. I would give it a perfect score as well.
Yeah.
Out of this, and like I said, the only other 2 I gave it was Avengers and Age of Ultron.
Right? Or not Age of Ultron.
Not Age of Sorry, Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. Avengers, Winter Soldier. I put this at number 3 below those 2, but just barely.
And
But yeah, there you have it, folks. Go see this movie.
It is amazing.
It is an awesome movie. And then if you want to stick around, if I have seen it, stick around or go see it and come back. We're going to break it down with some spoiler talk. Okay, folks, if you're back with us, you're ready for spoiler talk.
Yeah.
We're going to dig into this thing here. We're going to just go through it a little bit differently. We're going to go character by character.
Okay.
All right. So let's start off Thor. All right. The front and center here with the big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, this is his movie. He comes into his own. He goes through quite a bit in this movie.
Yeah. Chris Hemsworth is an amazing comedic actor.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think the best way obviously you've at this point seen the movie if you're watching the spoiler thing. I like that the trailers really did not spoil this movie.
No.
Because stuff that you thought, like, that initial trailer where he rolls down the chain, you're like, wow, how'd he get captured? What? You don't find out. He just was at the beginning of at the beginning, and it was a total A-Team moment where he got captured on purpose. Or Stargate SG-1, where they're like, oh yeah, we're so badass, we just get ourselves caught so we can figure out what the bad guy's plan is and then break out.
Wow, that was a deep nerd moment. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. I know Chris Hemsworth is amazing. I mean, he inhabits this role so well. You know, and Thor goes through quite a bit. I mean, losing body parts, losing his hammer, losing his home,
losing his dad.
Yeah. You know, like I said, this is a dark movie when you break down to it, but it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And it all works. So that tells you right there.
It is funny how that.
Yeah, Thor's growth in this is pretty great. He's got great comedic chops, and I can see a reason why he's your favorite character, and he's one of my favorite Marvel characters as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's great. I would say he gains his power. He loses his hammer, but he gains in the comics, he gets a power surge moment when he learns to channel his god power or whatever.
Right, yeah.
He actually gets that in the movie. He becomes the god of thunder finally.
Yeah. Really? Odin's got that great line like, are you the god of hammers?
Yeah, I lost my hammer. Are you the god of hammers?
Yeah, so.
No. So, yeah, and that's the way, in the comics, the same thing has happened. So he's gained the powers. He's got all the lightning powers, that he uses. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need his hammer to channel it anymore. He can just do it on his own. I mean, it's an amazing growth moment. You're super excited. I mean, he's jumped up in power level.
Yeah.
In the series now. So he was always, I always thought he was, my only criticism of Thor in the MCU was he was a little underpowered for what he's supposed to be. And the reason for that was because no one else was that powerful.
Right, yeah.
Right? I mean, no one else. And they tried to keep it grounded. The first Thor movie kept everything grounded in science more than, they play down the god part, and hope it. This one just plays right up the god part. Odin's called solemn gods. Thor calls him the god. Even Loki's the god of mischief. Hela's the god of death.
He gets upset when people call him the Lord of Thunder. He's like, God of
Thunder. Yeah, they totally play up their gods at this point, and that they have all this power. So, yeah, Thor really worked for me. Was there anything what's your standout moment or anything that didn't work for you for Thor?
I don't think there was any there was no point where I was like, what's going on? I did get a little confused when he was, I guess, getting transported over and over in Doctor Strange's sanctum and was getting like dizzy or something like that. I'm like, what's going on here? Why are you acting like that? Did he brew really strong beer or something like that? But I like this. You never really got a clear idea in Avengers or even Age of Ultron of Thor's power level. It was very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Where it was like, he could destroy the destroyer armor, but then he had some trouble just fighting
like Hydra agents.
He's like, why is this any kind of a contest for you? Or even fighting the Chitauri, where it was like, he's flying around just using his hammer and doing some stuff, and then it's like, or I could stand up on this tower and zap at these creatures with lightning until they blow up. Like, okay, that's kind of inconsistent here. But here they definitely just went, like, this is the guy who can get his face pounded and pounded and pounded by Hulk and just still be conscious.
Yeah.
And with it enough to draw on the his thunder power when he keeps getting flashbacks of Odin dying, and that kind of triggers him going, I need my power.
Yes. That gladiator fight was amazing. I mean, this is probably the best Thor Hulk fight since the Hulk versus animated movie. We haven't seen that, at least like Hulk versus two shows, Hulk versus Wolverine, Hulk versus Thor. And that Hulk Thor fight, I mean, they had a scene reminiscent of that where he had him bury him in the ground, just punching him in the face over and over again.
Right.
And it reminded me of that. But it was great. And going on from there, talking about the Hulk now. The Hulk, he's awesome in this. We finally see what happens to him, and since Age of Ultron,
right? Yeah,
where he's been, what's going on. He's been the Hulk for 2 years now, solid. He's locked Banner away somehow.
Yeah,
I mean, this movie hints at ramifications for the Hulk later on, going forward. Right?
Yeah, because it's interesting. It's much like in Planet Hulk, where he stays the Hulk even when he's not really.
Yeah, he's
mad.
Not angry.
He's not angry or anything like that. In fact, he's joking around with Valkyrie.
Yeah,
they seem to have like a fondness for each other.
Yeah,
and they're joking around, and he seems happy, but he's still staying the Hulk. Right. So you're kind of...
And in fact, I mean, the Banner has a line in there, Mark Ruffalo's Banner says, he doesn't know if he changes the Hulk one more time, if he'll ever change back, because he's not in control anymore.
Right.
He used to have both hands of the wheel. Now the Hulk's in control. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the movie, when everything's all done, he's still the Hulk.
Right.
He
changes back.
He changes into the Hulk.
Well, yeah, he has that moment where he's like, I'm the only thing that can stop the Fenris Wolf, so
yep.
I guess I'll do it.
I guess I'll do it.
And this is probably one of the best comedic moments where he jumps out of the thing, call back to the Hulk movie.
Yeah.
With Edward Norton, where he jumps out and then hits the ground in a crater, and the Hulk gets up. Banner just flops onto the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
Just blah blah up, and you're like, oh.
And the Fenris Wolf just steps over him.
Yeah. You're like, oh my God, that didn't work.
So guy just killed himself. Okay, well. Yeah, the Hulk is great in this. I mean, the fact that he can talk now, the fact that he was happy, he didn't have an inhibitor, he didn't have like a fucking disc on his neck. He was there his own free will.
Right.
He was happy. He's the champion. People loved him.
Right.
So, I mean, it's sad that, he found a world that actually he fits in.
Yeah.
And now he's got to be pulled away from that back to the world that doesn't particularly like him.
Yeah. Although, and not that the Hulk necessarily cares about this, but he was straight murdering people in the gladiatorial arena. Yeah.
He was. Well, not people. Aliens.
Not people.
Yeah, It's all Donald Trump in it. He's like, they don't matter to aliens.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Hulk was amazing in this. Valkyrie, about her.
She's a very cool character.
Yeah.
I'm glad they went this route with Tessa Thompson instead of like your classic, the Valkyrie from the comics, with the blonde hair, pigtails, looked, like a Norse, warrior maiden.
Looked like a Valkyrie from a, opera.
Which they had those in the movie, in a flashback to show a bunch of them, and, she's amongst them. But I liked her kind of like hard knock, like she's just drinking away her pain. I like the fact that they're now bringing in Asgardian characters who are way older than Loki and Thor.
Yeah.
Who remember things from way back before, like how did, before.
Back when the Vikings actually worshipped them as gods. And, they were a little more warrior-like.
Yes, yeah.
We're not the peaceful, benevolent, alien race.
Right, yeah, that whole bent on it.
Yeah. No, she was great. I really liked her. She had great chemistry with, both Hulk and Thor.
Yep.
I mean, people were talking about she's the new love interest, but there wasn't really, there was like that one scene where they kind of jump in the ship together.
Yeah, and then her like, don't die.
Yeah, don't die.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, okay.
Yeah. But she is way older than Thor and Loki. She was back around when Hela was around. Hela's way older. Okay, let's talk about Loki. God of Mischief.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy in this? Well, he's Loki.
Yeah.
He's what he always is.
Well, and he is. That's what's great. They're playing up like he is in the comics.
Yes.
And even how he is in Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Sometimes they partner up together, sometimes not.
Right.
And they even give the nod to he starts Ragnarok.
Yeah. True.
He makes Ragnarok happen in the movie. So
yes,
that's a nice nod to Norse mythology.
One of the best scenes is when Thor gets back to Asgard for the first time. He sees everything's gone to hell. Because as we last left Loki, he was posing as Odin,
right? Yeah.
In Asgard. Well, we see that Heimdall's been fired, and in his place we have Scourge, who we'll talk about in a little bit here. But and Odin's watching a play of the noble sacrifice of Loki. Yeah. Loki, played by Matt Damon, by the way.
Yeah.
Great.
That was a great moment. Great play.
And then Thor coming back and realizing it's his brother in disguise and exposing him. He's great. I mean, he betrays Thor a couple times. He helps him out several times. All in one movie.
Yeah, he does it.
My favorite part of Loki's scenes or whatever was his absolute terror of the Hulk.
And then him jumping up and going, that's what it feels like when Thor gets the pound in the ground by the legs.
He gets Loki'd by the Hulk during a fight, which, the only time Loki jumped up and cheered.
That's pretty funny.
Watch, his abject terror of seeing the Hulk. That is amazing. Yeah, I mean, Tom Hiddleston, I mean, he's one of Marvel's best villains.
Yeah, he's great. Well, and I love that he straddles that line.
Yeah.
Where he's, he still has feelings for his father, for Asgard, for even Thor to a degree.
Oh, yeah, there were several tender moments.
But there's always that, like he can't help himself being pulled back to mischief. So,
yeah, there's several. Like I said, there's several tender moments. But, I mean, the scene with Odin when Odin dies.
Yeah.
Is man, that's it has the emotional heft, man. The two brothers there, and knowing how he betrayed his father and everything else, he's still there, and then Odin just actually congratulates him on the spell. It took him a while to break.
Yeah, he's like, it took me a while to get out of your enchantment. He's like, good job. Your mom would be proud.
Mom would be proud.
Frigga.
Yeah, because she was in.
Because she taught him magic.
Yeah. So he wasn't upset or anything like that. Yeah. It was a great scene, and Loki is one of the great Eternal characters. So hopefully we'll be around a lot longer. All right, let's talk the new big bad, Hela.
Yeah. Oh
Kate
man,
Blanchett.
Talking about big bad, she was amazingly powerful. This is like the first bad guy who is like, wow, how do you stop this person?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, you're like, this is your Thanos level villain.
Yes.
You're like, okay, this is how I imagine Thanos would be if, he actually did something during any of the movies other than look menacing.
Let's put it this way. Like, in all the trailers, it looks like Thor is going back to Asgard to fight Hela and defeat her. That wasn't the plan. It was a suicide mission, basically. They knew they couldn't beat her. Right. Yeah. They went back there knowing she was way more powerful, and the way that they do beat her. I mean, they don't. They have Surtur do it, right? Yeah. They give Surtur his power, which will basically in turn destroy Asgard.
Correct. Yeah.
To defeat Hela, they have to destroy Asgard to defeat Hela. So that tell you what level.
Yeah, because she's apparently bound to Asgard. As long
her power's bound there.
Yeah, as long as she's on Asgard, she becomes more and more powerful. So they essentially, they had to give.
Wow. Yeah, it was. I mean, what a way to beat her. Because you watch this movie, like, what are they going to do?
Right.
And you see it in a trailer, like she just destroys his hammer like it was nothing.
Right.
Which is
not only does she catch it, it goes more into detail in the movie, obviously, than the trailer.
Yeah.
He's trying to pull it back to him, and she holds it and then crushes it. Yep. And it's like, oh my gosh! What have
you seen in those paintings from before? She used to wield it.
Oh, really?
She held up Mjolnir with her and Odin when they were conquering.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Which, so spoilers, she is Thor's sister.
Yes, older sister.
Yeah, Odin's firstborn, who he had to lock away because she got too powerful and too bloodthirsty.
Right.
And she wanted to conquer more than just the 9 realms.
Yeah.
Which is a great way of explaining why, because in the thing, there's only 9 realms of reality, right, for the Asgardians. But now they explain it, he conquered 9 realms and then stopped. Right? Stopped those 9 realms. So there's multiple realms.
Yeah, why doesn't Asgard rule all of the universe or whatever,
Yep.
Well, because, Odin eventually decided he had enough.
Right. She's great. My only criticism was that she didn't get enough screen time, which they couldn't. I mean, they gave her as much as she could with all the Sakaar stuff going on.
Yeah, and realistically, I actually don't have that complaint because if you had her on gave her more screen time, you would lessen the impact because she would either just randomly kill more people or you'd have to have fights where people lasted longer against her, which would kind of weaken her character.
Well, we really can't have that because Thor's off planet and she outright kills the Warriors 3 like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, she comes out at the gate, kills poor Volstagg and Faramir, or not Faramir, that's Boromir's brother.
Yeah.
What's it? Fandal. She kills Fandal and Volstagg like it was nothing. Volstagg gets one line in the movie. Who are you? And that's it. They're dead. And then she beats, and Hogun leads the rest of the Asgardian warriors against her, and he dies.
Yeah.
In a horrible way.
Yeah.
You're right. The fact that she is so powerful means that really her showing up on screen is wantonly killing more Asgardians.
Yeah.
And the fact that she raised dead Asgardians to fight for her was probably a good thing for them because it means she wasn't out there slaughtering them.
Right. Yeah. And you really couldn't. I mean, the only other person on Asgard that would represent any kind of threat would be Heimdall, and you don't.
Yeah.
And that wasn't gonna. That's
he couldn't give himself up because he had the sword,
right?
The Bifrost sword. So because that's what she needed.
Right.
And her little toady she gets is Scourge. Scourge is the one who's basically one of the earlier funny hilarious moments was when Thor gets back and Scourge is working the Bifrost Bridge because Heimdall's been fired.
Right.
He's in exile.
Yeah. Well, he was supposed to be arrested and tried as a traitor, but by Odin, but he escaped.
Yeah.
Knowing that it wasn't Odin because he could see through.
So Scourge is there trying to impress two girls with all his possessions he's stolen from all the 9 realms.
Yeah. He's got like a scooter.
He's got a scooter. He's got a shake weight. He goes back to it, he's got the shake weight going, and he's got his 2 machine guns, and he's like, so
Des and Troy.
Because together they destroy. And Goofy. And you saw the first bit, you're like, is he a goofy character? But no. He's kind of like a tragic character in the fact that he is her toady. She makes him his executioners in the comics. He's Scourge executioner.
Right.
She gives him his axe that he has in the comics.
Right.
And she wants him to kill for.
Yeah. Luckily, he is not a malevolent.
He's not a malevolent.
And this is one of the great. Carl Urban does an amazing job with not a lot of lines, just through facial expressions and stuff of showing how reluctant he is, but then he's also. You get the idea. He's somewhat cowardly.
She came out and killed 2 of the greatest warriors in Asgard, like nothing in front of him, and so he's like, "Yeah, I'm your man.
I'm just a janitor.
I'm just a janitor." So she makes him his executioner. Luckily, he doesn't have to kill any Asgardians. His, someone comes forward, and then he has a heroic turn at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. My only complaint is that really,
I wish he hadn't died.
I wish he hadn't died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody dies in this. It's like because he was such a great character. I like the character of Scourge in the comics. Mm-hmm. I was hoping he would be around a lot longer, but Carl Urban did a great job as always.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk Grandmaster. Jeff Goldblum at his most Jeff Goldblumiest in a while.
Yeah. He was great. He was really funny, really good. Now he does not really come across as the Grandmaster from the comics.
He's not as menacing. I mean,
he's not as menacing. He doesn't exhibit any kind of powers. I mean, obviously he has control of this whole thing for some reason. Right. You just never see that reason. And he's Jeff Goldblum playing Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster.
He clearly has powers because he's not afraid ever.
Yeah.
Like even when Thor breaks his bonds and threatens him,
like,
oh, he's threatened me. This is great.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean,
much like the Collector never really does anything overt.
That's his brother.
Yeah, and they're brothers. So yes,
they're elders of the universe.
Well,
so they've been around.
They're brothers,
right? They're both elders of the universe.
The elders, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he was great. He didn't have. I mean, the parts he was in were great. He was comedic relief. He was all comedic relief.
Yeah,
he had some of the best, some great lines.
Some great lines.
Great lines.
Why'd you bring me the melty sticks? He just interrupted me. That's not a capital offense.
Jeff Goldblum. I watched Jeff Goldblum play anything.
Yeah, he was really good in this.
Yeah, he was great. Let's go Korg and Meek. Now, these are 2 characters from Planet Hulk storyline. Taika Waititi does the voice of Korg. Totally not how I imagine Korg from the comics. And this is totally not Korg from the comics or Meek from the comics because they're very tragic characters. Yeah. They're
comic relief.
They're comic relief. Yeah. Not that they needed comic relief. The wrestler was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were great characters. I mean, I like Korg a lot better in this than I did in actual Planet Hulk.
Yeah. Korg is kind of like the eternal optimist.
Yes.
So he's like
this gladiator slave, but he's the eternal optimist. He's great, and the Taika Waititi voice just works for it. I mean, it's
totally unexpected from this big rock monster.
But it's great, and Meek is not in it much, but I mean, the fact they have Meek in it will make all you Planet Hulk fans excited. But yeah, I mean, there's not. we're going to see more of those characters, and I'll be happy to have it because they're both great.
That's the rumors that they're probably either in Infinity War or Avengers 4.
Well, the way this movie ends, it probably Asgard probably ends up in all of Asgard probably ends up in
possibly
so we'll see. Heimdall, Idris Elba is always great as Heimdall. Mm-hmm. He's basically on the run. He's not in a whole lot of scenes in this movie, but what he's in, you realize he is badass.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of helping all of the Asgardian civilians escape Hela.
Yeah, so he's leading like basically the resistance or not really resistance. They're just trying to escape.
Right.
It's really you can't resist Hela. I mean,
true.
But what little he's in there, he's great. But Odin, even in less of the movie, but has a much bigger impact in the movie.
Right. Yeah. Well, obviously he dies.
Yeah, he dies.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Obviously.
His power is what's keeping Hela at bay, and she comes to power. But he also encourages his sons, and basically shows Thor, not directly, which would have been nice, but for him anyway. I mean, great for the movie, that he has more power than what he thought.
Right. Yeah.
That he used the hammer, just channels his power. He actually is the god of thunder, and as one of Odin's, because you always thought, because Odin was on such a different power level than Thor and Loki. You know?
Well, and this leads towards, back to the comic books, because there have been a lot of storylines now where you see Thor as the current king and Thor as future king and stuff like that. And as, Odin says in this that you're more powerful than me. Yeah. That you will be, or he says you're more powerful than me, like hinting at the potential. At some point, you're going to get control of all this. And you'll be even more powerful. So,
great. I mean, it was a great scene. Like I said, we talked about the scene with the brothers and their father saying goodbye, and it was
well. And then just Anthony Hopkins playing Loki, playing him, was really great. Because he's got that the demeanor of Loki. Is like, oh shit.
He's like, oh shit.
Like, no, Thor's here. Oh,
like, oh shit. He gets up from drinking his wine. He's leaning back, eating grapes, watching a play about himself. So that's how Loki got.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Anthony Hopkins did a great job in the movie.
Great job. Odin was great. Doctor Strange, in it about as much as Odin was.
Yeah.
But he had one really great scene, where he basically tells Thor where Odin is. You got a glimpse of the scene at the end of Doctor Strange movie.
Right. Yeah. Right. Where he's talking to Thor.
He's giving a limitless beer. Mm-hmm. But basically, he traps Loki.
He basically sends him to a different dimension, where he's falling the entire time he's talking to Thor.
Falling for 30 minutes.
It's like,
and then he just,
he finally drops him out.
You think you're a sorcerer? I'll show you. Then he just gets rid of him.
So obviously, Doctor Strange has grown into his power by the point this is.
Yeah.
And has pretty much full control.
Both Loki and Thor are like, Earth has sorcerers now?
Yeah.
Earth has
You're
wizards
a wizard?
Now? So that was a great scene. He was great in it. He really wasn't in it for much. Surtur, the other big bad, he's basically a force. I mean, the movie starts off with him and ends with him.
Right.
Starts off with Thor being trapped by him. He basically defeats him, takes his crown, and then basically gives him what he wants at the end so he can destroy Asgard to defeat Hela.
Right, to defeat Hela. Crazy.
I mean, there's one great scene. You see it in the trailer where Hulk jumping at Surtur.
Yeah. Thor and Valkyrie getting mad about it.
They're like, no, don't fight him.
We don't want to.
He's all, but big monster. It's like, that's what I can smash.
Yeah, that was probably one of Hulk's best lines. But big monster.
Yeah, he was just like the way he's, like a little kid. But this is what I do. Great. And last, we'll talk about Stan Lee. Stan Lee's cameo, of course.
Is the barber.
Barber cuts Thor's hair.
And it was a great scene. He's got the little twisty cutter
things. Like, hold still, I'm a little shaky. He's got a shaky hand and it splits out all these whirring blades.
Yeah. Please, sir, don't cut my hair.
Don't cut my hair. Yeah, he's all defiant at first. And he's like, oh, please, sir, don't cut my hair. Yeah, I mean, there you have it. Everyone was rock solid in this. Even if they had little small parts, they're all rock solid. Okay, well, we've been gushing about this movie for almost a half hour now. Why don't we talk about, is there anything... Now, I would say the humor hit, I'd say about 90% of the time. There's only a few of them that I was like, okay, maybe little too far, maybe not. None of it enough to make me actually not like it.
Right.
Not like even that joke. I'm like, oh, I probably wouldn't have done that, but that's so funny. You know, I don't know, what about you? Is there anything any negatives at all?
Man, I was thinking about this as we left the movie and we're driving home. We were getting ready to film this. I was like, all right, I got to come up with, what can I critique? What can I say? Oh, and I think my biggest part was I wish Carl Urban had gotten more time or more to do as Scourge, because he was really good as Scourge, and it was bummer to see Scourge die at the end. I mean, he had some cool bits, and the more I thought about his performance, it was a really good, nuanced performance. Because every time he had to do something to stay alive, for Hela, he's just kind of like got that look like, oh, I don't want to be here right now, but I'm not brave enough to just, stand up to her when I know it means death.
Yeah.
So that was really, I liked that a lot. So he did a really good job on that. So I went to start saying something that I thought might have been a negative, but it's really a positive. But, well, he was a positive. I wish there had been more of him, so that's kind of a negative.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Otherwise, I don't really have anything bad to say about this. There was really not anything that just was like, holy cow, why'd you do that? Or, oh, I didn't like how they did that.
I will say this, as far as negatives goes, I don't really have much, in a way, negative about this movie. It's hilarious. I would say this. I think there was too much. The problem was they had too much story to catch up on, right? So they had plot lines dangling from Age of Ultron, from Thor: Dark World, from all these movies from the past that they had to catch up on, right? Which I think took away from some of the other aspects of the story. Like, as cool, but here's the problem: all the scenes that they did with the catching up bits were great.
Yeah,
right? They were great scenes, but I mean, like for instance, the Doctor Strange scene. Right, that was a way to get Doctor Strange into the movie. Right, it ties in with the Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange movie and the whole bit. Right, how it gets them to Odin. Right, so all these things they have to do, but he really didn't add any. It was cool. The scene was amazing. Yeah, but he didn't add anything to the story. Right, and it probably took away time. You could have gone more Hulk and Thor together. Right, or more Banner and Thor together, which we got very little Banner and Thor. I mean,
that's true. They did not have a lot.
Literally, it was one escape scene, and that was it. They got together, and they were through the crowd. They met Valkyrie, and then they met Loki again, and then he escaped. Now, I mean, it was just one quick series of scenes.
Yep.
I liked to have saw more Mark Ruffalo in the movie, but yeah, just like little things like that, like the whole, like Thor returning to Asgard and revealing that Loki was taking over as Odin. Right, it was actually Loki. That scene didn't add anything to the movie, but it was amazing because you got the Matt Damon playing Loki scene, right? I mean, it was a great scene.
Yep.
But again, it was something they had to have in there to
get you to where
you need to be, right? Yeah. And so all those scenes kind of took away from, like I said, it's not really. I guess it's a negative because they didn't add to the story, but they were necessary. And it took away from other stuff that you would probably like to see in the story more. But they were great scenes, so I can't really complain about them.
Well, here's the thing: is you really needed that bit because you had to get to the fact that Odin was dying.
Yes.
So you had to get to where Loki was, then get Loki and Thor to Odin. And have Odin die.
But that scene was drug out by the whole play scene, right? The play scene was great. I'm glad it was in there. But I mean, all those scenes were getting drug out. Like the whole Doctor Strange scene could have been cut down to just what was at the end of Doctor Strange. That scene where he's like, if I help you find Odin, then you'll leave with Loki, right? But it stretched that scene on more.
True, yeah. Right? They had all the different Yeah. Again, they played it up comedic-wise, messing up Strange's house and stuff like that.
So,
but okay.
I mean,
can see that.
You see what I mean? And I'm not complaining that those scenes were in the movie because those scenes were great and they were necessary for the movie. But the fact that they were necessary is part of the problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it took away, and my only complaint would be that it took away from other things I would like to have seen more of. I'd like to have seen more Hulk. I'd like to have seen more Banner. I'd like to see, the Tessa Thompson, or the Valkyrie Thor relationship a little bit more of. Yeah. Right? So things like that. I'd like to see, it was so good. I wanted to see more of it. So I'm not really a complaint. You know what I mean? It was so. That's the biggest complaint I can have is that because of the dangling storylines, Taika Waititi had to wrap up a whole bunch, and it kind of took away from other stuff.
Sure.
But what he did wrap it up with was great. Yeah. So it's hard to complain unless you want to make a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
and there's not really much you can do about that. So
yeah, that is true.
Is that a negative or not? I don't know, but it's
well,
that's what might take away.
It did also highlight some. Well, yeah, it highlights some negatives from the Dark World, though. For example, obviously Odin has been weakening over time.
Yes.
And Thor blames Loki's spell for it, but obviously, in the first movie, his Odin sleep gets interrupted when he comes to, intervene with their fight and save them. But in Dark World, he never addresses the Odin sleep. Why doesn't he go back into the Odin sleep? He never says, "Oh, my power's waning," or something bad's happening to, that I'm weakening or anything like that. That's just kind of glossed over, and you're like, okay, Odin just died. Why? What's going on? So there wasn't that missing element of the story. Is kind of a big spotlight is shined on it here, but that's not necessarily his Taika Waititi's fault.
Taika Waititi did a great job with what he had, so I can't really complain about that. Okay, let's try to wrap it up here a little bit. Let's talk about what was your favorite aspect of the movie, scene. What's your favorite thing about this movie?
Man, that is really. That's a hard question.
I left it broad because he's hard to nail down.
It is very difficult because this is a really, really good movie. There's so much that's just freaking awesome. I'm going to go with one of my favorite things, if not my favorite, is just the opening scene where he's purposely got himself captured to figure out what Surtur's plan is.
Yeah.
To figure out what's going on with Ragnarok. And the whole just him twisting in the chain where he keeps interrupting Surtur's speech just because he's turned away.
I'll be around in a minute. Hold on.
He's rotated to where he's not facing him anymore. He's like, wait, I'll be around in a minute. And he has to kind of scoot himself back around.
Plus, you got to see, awesome fights with the hammer.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing use of the hammer.
Right. Uses it as a shield like he does in the comics.
You get a hammer cam where the camera's following the hammer as it's...
Oh, right. Yeah.
As it's tearing through stuff. So, yeah, it's... it was a great scene. All right. Fair enough. Well, my favorite part about this movie, so hard. Because it's also good. I don't want to say, I'm going to not pick the Thor Hulk Gladiator fight, which was amazing, by the way.
That was your favorite part.
It was probably my favorite part. But it was, I don't know. It was, God, there's so many.
It's tough. This is how good this movie is.
Yeah.
It is hard to single in on one part as like, wow, that was amazing. That was the standout.
I think, I got two. One of my favorite parts of the movie, or the running gag, is Thor trying to give Hulk the lullaby to get him to calm down, turn back into Banner, like he's Black Widow.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
The sun's getting low.
Does the whole thing where he's gonna touch his hand, do the little wrist thing. That was great.
Yeah, trying to give Hulk the lullaby that only the Black Widow could.
Yeah.
That's how he goes on a turn, is actually Black Widow doing it through the recording.
Right, yeah.
So, that or the bonding moments between Thor and Loki. The brother bonding moments.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them in the elevator after Odin dies, and they lead right into comedic moments, right?
Right.
But the moments right before that, and here's the thing, it's what this movie does great, why it works so well, is because they give you a sentimental or tragic moment, right? Mm-hmm. And then they roll that expertly, because it could really go bad in less capable hands than Taika Waititi's.
Right.
Going into a comedic moment right after that, it could be jarring if not done correctly. And this is why the director is so brilliant with this movie, is that this works. He can go from those tender moments or those tragic moments right into comedy the next scene, and it works. It plays out, and especially with like the scene I'm talking about with the Thor and Loki bonding in the elevator, where they go right into the get help scene.
Yeah,
which was great. But it flows into it so well.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that actually reminded me of something else that's also way up there on my. One of the best things about this movie is they make Thor smart.
Yes.
Thor figures all kinds of, like, he sees through Loki's deceptions. He knows to, it's why why do you keep falling for Loki's stuff? He's like, well, you fooled me a couple of times. Now I see through.
Yeah.
I know exactly when you're going to try and betray me. And
so he planned for it. Loki tries to betray him, and Thor doesn't fall for it this time. And he grows as a character. He actually has a moment in time where he's actually talking, like, almost not quite on the science level as Bruce Banner, but there's a technical moment where he's talking technical. Yeah. He's grown as a character, right? He's not just the the hothead warrior. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. He's actually grown. He's gotten smarter. He's learned. Right. So, which is why the Odin patch fits him so well at the end. Yeah. And he sits on the throne. So. All right, we could talk about this movie for hours because it's so good. Yep. Go see the movie. Don't listen to us. Go see the movie.
Go see it again. Obviously, if you're past the spoiler section and you hadn't seen it, what are you doing? Yeah. If you already probably have. Go see it again. This is such a good movie.
If you're a Marvel fan, you'll like it. If you're a Thor fan, you'll like it. If you're a Hulk fan, you'll like it. If you're a fan of comedies, go see it. Yeah. It's one of those movies that's going to hit on all levels. I agree with you, Doug. I think it's going to blow its projected numbers out of the water after seeing it. And we're like, people are going to come back and see it. I want to see it again this weekend.
And it's going to get great word of mouth. Yes. People are going to be like, oh my God, that movie was so great. You have to. And I was going to say is Justice League better be spectacular in order to take away from this one. So. Yeah. I mean, it's going to take first place for its opening week, but I would be interested to see if it switches back after it's been out a week.
If it's not up to par at all. It could. Because this one's so good. That's how good this movie is. All right, folks, there you have it. There's our review of Thor Ragnarok. Tell us what you thought in the comments below. If there's anything we missed, what's your favorite scene? Let us know. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. If you want to support this channel, there'll be a link to our Patreon down below. Any little bit helps. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.